Well, it's probably the first one, to be fair. The classic sale, 3-horse float, heading down to Sydney. You know, first sale, all excited. Decided just to, you know, we didn't know where to unload, so we just dropped the tailgate on Young Street and unloaded, 3 horses, 2 fillies. And the colt was silent witness. He had Vicks in his nose, and we were ready to party. But look, we've changed, we've developed. But it was one of those things where, you know, we've got 3 horses, and we're going to the sales. We're going to sell them, and you know, lo and behold, it was a very good one in the back.
And one became a champion in Hong Kong, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
and following that through from the sale, I mean, there's so much that comes after these sales for so many people.
Yeah, our horses. We need the success. You know, they run well, and then people come back and want to find our horses again. Like, so it's important that the people that, you know, invest in our horses, they have the success, because you know, they deserve it.
And the brilliant, the champ, silent witness, has done it again.
Cambridge Stud is one of the world's great thoroughbred farms, now into the 2nd year of ownership by Brendan and Joe Lindsay. In a true sign of dedication to the New Zealand breeding industry, coming off a horror year last year, losing stallions Roaring Lion, Tavistock and Burgundy in a freak set of circumstances, the team at Cambridge continues to look ahead with excitement, bolstered by the performances, in particular, of their flying filly Probabile. I caught up with Brendan and Joe and Henry Plumtree earlier in the year, just after Probabile had won the 3-year-old Karaka Million, a year after winning the 2-year-old Million.
But she's done it. She's done the Karaka Million double, Probabile.
Brendan, you've been involved in the ownership of racehorses for a long time, but it's been really an incredible year. Obviously, you took over the ownership of Cambridge Stud, won the 2-year-old Karaka Million the first year, and came back and won with the same filly the 3-year-old Million. I mean, it's been an incredible year looking at the highs.
Yeah, it has, and you know, obviously we've had a few lows as well, but it's a funny thing about racing, you know, with a horse like Probabile, we had so much fun winning the 2-year-old race, and then you sort of look forward to it for the last 6 months, and you're watching what other horses are doing, you look at the track, you're looking at who's in the race, and you obviously the draw, and then a minute and a half later at 7:45 on Saturday night, it's all over. But you know, you're back home, you're celebrating, and you've got the bottle of shampoo out, and it's a great feeling, it really is. That's what racing's all about, is those magic moments.
And how have you felt out here with the whole sales complex and your great hospitality area for your clients and your friends? I mean, another year further down the track, does it feel a bit different this year, a bit more settled?
It does feel a lot different. I think last year was just so new. This year when we came to the hospitality centre and we were setting up, it felt a lot different. It just felt comfortable. It felt like we were back home, whereas last year we hadn't made it our home. And it's worked really well. It's good to be able for people to just come and relax. It's really hot out here during the day, and just come and have a bit of lunch or something to drink, and it's worked really well.
I mean, it has obviously been, as you said, a tough year. You know, you've lost some stallions. It's been terribly sad for, you know, not only yourself but your staff and everybody involved with Cambridge Stud. What do you take from a year such as that? What, if you look back and reflect, what comes out of it for you?
Oh, look, we've surrounded ourselves with good quality people. A lot of those people have had the ups and downs with racing in the past, particularly the downs with the stallions, which we hadn't experienced, and they've been able to help us through that. It's quite traumatic when you get into a business that you're learning and these things happen, but you know, it's brought us together. It's actually made our business, I think, stronger on a personal note, because everybody's rallied around, and we just got, you know, we need to put the shoulder to the wheel and get on with the life. But you know, one thing about loss, somebody's always got a worse story. And our story's what it is, but you know, I can't fight nature, we can't fight nature, and nature took over, and that's the end of that.
And your staff too, I mean, you really are building up some fantastic stuff. You can see it out here, you can see it at the farm as well. But some of the young staff too, I mean, they're really proud to be wearing the Cambridge name.
And we're trying to encourage those younger people to come and join Cambridge Stud and see it as a career. You know, we're very lucky to have Henry and Michelle to run the business for us, and Henry's experience, his knowledge, the respect that people have for Henry in the industry because of his knowledge and the way he's conducted himself in the past opens doors for us, and also it makes it easy to make decisions when you've got people with a smart brain sitting on your, on your shoulder. you know, we want to encourage people to come and join us and come with us on that journey, and that's where probably was so important, because those people get an awful lot of pleasure out of winning. They get an awful lot of pleasure when they sell horses. I mean, some of these girls cry when these horses get sold. I mean, they get so emotional when they get so attached to them, and they then want to track their progress and see where they go and if they perform and all that sort of stuff. It's a really exciting business, this business.
Well, the past 12 months have been quite exciting, as well as some sad moments as well. The building side of Cambridge Stud has been quite exhilarating. Things happened very fast down there over the last 12 months, and we managed to build 11 buildings in 9 months, and they're all working buildings as well. So everything's gone really well, apart from the sad news with the stallions. Our racing team has just been firing over the last 2 or 3 months. We're quite excited about that. And we're looking for a new stallion as well. And hopefully our young stallion, Embellish, will come forward and stamp his mark as well, having that Sir Tristram, Zabeel, Savabeel lineage. So we're looking forward to that.
Karaka is pretty much a sort of epicentre for us. I mean, Brendan's a big supporter of the local market, wants to engage with those farms that support us and buy yearlings off them, and we bought 7 last year, we bought 7 the year before, and we bought 4 yesterday, so we're heading that way again. And it's not because it's not all about putting money in someone else's pocket, it's about buying nice families, about buying these fillies that can race for Cambridge and eventually go to the broodmare paddock. But it's a reciprocal business, and he's very aware of that. And if we're going to be long-term players in New Zealand, we've got to engage with the local boys and make sure that they feel the love, as they say.
190, 200, the Catwalk Charity at 200,000. I sell her. All done. 200,000, and ladies and gentlemen, she gets bought by Joe and Brendan Lindsay.
You know, overall, as I said, not just an emotional business, but people really pitch in. I mean, you bought the Brazen Bow filly, and the money there going towards the $200,000 to the Catwalk Trust for research into spinal injury for Katrina Williams from Little Avondale. I mean, those sorts of things. The industry always does really pitch in when it's required.
Well, look, you know, there's a little bit more to that as well. I mean, Darley donated the service fee. So there's another $100,000 that Kevin Hickman paid for that. At the end of the day, Catwalk's the winner. And, you know, can you imagine leading a life where you're confined to a wheelchair 24/7? That money's going to go to some good somewhere. That's what the industry needs to be known for, about putting something back. And
of course, some other beautiful fillies. You bought the Teleria filly. You know, it's so important, isn't it, to keep regenerating this New Zealand blood through all these studs?
Absolutely. I mean, our job is to put our best broodmare band together, and it's going to take us, you know, quite a few years. It's going to take us 5 years. We enjoy racing horses. We'll get those horses to the track. Hopefully we'll improve their value and their appeal, and then hopefully we'll have our buyers, whether it be New Zealand, Australian or Asian or wherever they come from, we'll look at those fantastic pedigrees and go, let's come to Cambridge and buy a horse.
And of course, for all the buyers that have bought from Cambridge, the Lonro Thames Court colt to Coolmore, so, you know, great to get horses into the Coolmore system, $675,000 too. You know, that's a gorgeous colt with obvious stallion potential. Exceed and Excel Tricia colt, $500,000. The Schnitzel, Katie Lee, sold for $375,000. I mean, you know, this is big money, and people are really wanting to buy these horses and really put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, there are, and you know, there's a lot of people trying to do business with us. They can see the journey that we've been on. They're trying really hard. The Go Racing guys are part of that. A fella called Duncan Rabbage bought a couple of Tavistocks. But the reality is that there's always a story behind every horse. And the Longroad Thames Court, I mean, I bought Thames Court from David Brydoak and his racing partners and raced it in Australia. We sent it to Longroad. Our first foal we got $675,000. David's excited because he got his money and he's happy for us. The Cornwall boys are trying hard to help us, and that's why they're supporting us. You know, and it's obviously $675,000 is a lot of money in anybody's book.
If you'd said to me that Coolmore will buy a Longroad yearling off you in years to come, I would have said you're dreaming. But it was fantastic to have them here, and James Best is a bit of a sucker for a good walker, and he was a beautiful walking colt, that colt. And He done very well in the prep. We're always looking for opportunities in Europe. We're looking for opportunities in Australia as well, because we've got to have a diverse group every time we go to the sales. There's no point in having mares and their daughters and their granddaughters from the same families all the time, because they run out. They weaken and they run out. You have to keep injecting something new.
Next year is extremely exciting for us because we've got our first of what you call Joe My crop. So our Elmer and Zulls, obviously, our pedigree, what we've put, because a lot of the horses that we're selling were Sir Patrick's, if you like. So next year is really our very first year, so we've waited 3 years for this, and the 12 months won't come soon enough.
Great to see the investment in bloodstock and passion the Lindsays are making in New Zealand. Coming up after the break on Bred to Win, Sky presenter Lizzie Jelfs with an old Lindsay Park favourite in Arrowfield Studs, the horse who made you love racing.